hands. And just things like that, like I'm special. Like
But
most women think they're special.
I think that social media as well
Yeah.
increased that a lot, because now you see people that just don't know. I think they like Beyonce. You're like, what are you so bougie with me for? Like, I'm so nice.
It's dating apps as well, because if loads of guys are going to swipe on you, you don't know what you don't know. You might value that. You look at that. It's like that little dopamine hit. Oh, I've got 10 matches today. You don't even want to speak to any of them. But it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like more than you are, you know?
That was actually my next. Oh, wait. I think some people didn't actually answer the dating app question. So what, as a guy, what has your experience been on dating apps?
So sitting behind the camera, off camera, is my girlfriend. We met on a dating app, but there is a bit more to the story. So obviously girls don't set their radius very big because they don't need to. She lived outside of London. We went to the same comedy gig in London, Hodge Twins gig, if anyone knows the Hodge Twins.
Oh my God, they're in London?
Yeah, a while ago. I don't know if they'll come back. Hopefully they will. And so we matched through that. And then I was messing around a bit because I came out of a relationship. And then we actually ended up getting back together because we were seeing each other for a bit first. But after seeing other people, I didn't want to see anybody else. So.
And what made her stand out from the other girls?
She made me laugh. One thing which was big is she made me laugh.
You got jokes?
That's so cute.
She's genuinely kind. I met her mum and I met some of her family, and meeting them, I think meeting someone's family or someone they're related to tells you a lot about that person, how they were raised. And that's really important. I was also very honest with her about my past, and I think that opened the door, because going back to the honesty thing, I think if someone shares with you something that you would not be proud of, I think it's actually a green check mark to say, why would you tell me that? Like, you wouldn't lie about that, right? So that at least leans me towards, well, you must be at least being a bit honest with me. And that meant a lot to me. And another thing was, I think we didn't even talk about all of this stuff, like gender roles and all of this sort of thing, but she would always say to me that I was different to the guys that she'd dated before. And I've always been ambitious. And I like girls who like ambition. And I guess it's just like I was, we went to see other people and it was just boring and it wasn't what I wanted. So I went running back. I'll admit it.
So you went to the streets and you were like, nah.
I was like, get out of the streets.
Like, I gotta.
Do you know what, just very quickly on that, I think for guys, a lot of the fun is in the chase. And once the chase is over, it's then, okay, but you have to spend time with that person, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what, for the girls, what would make a guy stand out to you? Or if I can't remember if any of you were in relationships, but if you are, just say what made your partner stand out. Go ahead.
For me, the number one thing is values. We have to have common values, because for me, as I've mentioned, I'm looking for marriage, and I think the foundation of marriage is to have common values. You're raising kids with this person. So values, work ethic, intellect, and just their decision-making ability, because I believe in submission in marriage.
That was another thing, actually. So one thing I really respected is she was so good with her finances. I know it seems like a weird thing, but to me that shows responsibility, you know? And common values. Like, we talked about a lot of that stuff. And, do you want kids? Yes. You know, that sort of stuff. I think that's really important, definitely.
What about you?
Yeah, values is a big thing for me as well. And also just knowing the little things that make me happy. Because I dated a guy where he felt like taking me to like these nice restaurants and everything was impressing me, but I like to go to the cinema. I like going for walks. I like little things like that. Like, just buy me my favorite sweet, make me laugh, like accepting me for me as well. That would make me go for a guy, like a family orientated guy as well. A guy that can make me laugh. I like to laugh. I'm a joker. So somebody that understands me as well, for me. And yeah, that's what I'd need in a guy.
I was just thinking that my ex was quite open. He would tell me who he's had relations with, and quite accommodating, very kind. Would look at the small things like, oh, you like sherbet? I'm going to buy you that. But the flip side to that is that I found that he wasn't exactly who he wanted me to believe he was. But
really?
thinking back, you know, he was that type of person. And although I'm not with him, there are, you know, I look back and I think, oh, you had there was some good things about you as a person, although he was disingenuous. But
why didn't it work out? Was it because of that?
No, I found out the truth about the person. So yeah, it wasn't what he wanted me to believe, basically.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something? All the ladies here, if let's say you're speaking to a guy, right, and he asks for a girl's number in a bar, but he doesn't chat to her. He just flexes to see that he's still got it, right? But he tells you, he comes to you and he goes, I asked for this girl's number. I didn't even call her, but I just wanted to do it to see how I still got it. I'm coming to tell you this to show you as like a commitment to show you that I'm telling you the truth. Would you stay with that person?
I'll smash your phone on the floor, but I'll still stay with him.
Would you stay with him?
Yeah, I'll just smash the phone.
What and why would you value that, him coming to you and telling you that, or would it? No? Okay.
What's the point?
Exactly.
Why are you trying to prove that you still have it? You've got me.
Yeah, no, we
But I guess
kind of thing.
we toxic.
so. Would you leave him then?
I'll G-check him. We'll go down to the root of it. We'll talk. Why did you feel like you needed to do that? What are you trying to prove by you doing that? My thing, is communication and honesty. I'd rather you come to me, if the truth hurts, but it hurts. I'd rather hear the truth than a lie. And
So then he told you the truth, so
that's
shouldn't you
what-
be
Yeah,
happy?
no, that's what
That's what I'm
So
saying.
then that's why
So you can't win. You can't
That's
win.
why I'll question him.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
he
saying communication. Like, I'll communicate with you. Like, why did you feel like you had to prove that you still have it? Why?
But like you kind of are explaining why men lie, because if they tell you the truth, they still get a headache.
Yeah,
Then we get over it. Do you
No,
get me?
I know, but like
We
that's
can
for
get over
you.
it.
Like guys
Yeah.
don't want to talk.
But-
They're like, oh, I told you the truth. Do I get off skin?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Scottree, and you're like, no, we got to talk about that.
No, we'll talk about it, but like we'll resolve it. Do you get me? We can move on, but that's not a reason for me to like leave you, especially if we're married. Is that what you're talking about in a marriage
just a relationship.
in a relationship?
Yeah,
Or just, but I'll kind of like, yeah, I'll look at it like, but this is a solution we have to resolve, kind of thing.
Okay.
You probably wouldn't. It sounds like you wouldn't understand the reason why he would want to do that anyway.
I'll try to understand it. That's what I'm saying. Like, we'll communicate, we'll talk, we'll sit down and have that conversation. Like, I'll try to understand it. And if it's something me and you need to work on together, then we'll do it and then move on with the relationship. It's something so minute. If it's something that I know I can't get over, then yeah, I'll probably leave him. But if it's something little, then
What about you?
I mean, I'm not thinking too deep into it. I just think it's strange. Like, like if I go, let's just say I'm walking down the street and a guy approaches me and tries to chat me up, I wouldn't go tell my partner that. I mean, if he's with me, he knows that, you know, people can be like would be interested in me.
But I'm talking about the reverse. So, and the reason it may happen is girls get approached all the time, right? But guys don't get approached as often, not really ever, unless you're top or you're really good looking or whatever, right? So what if he's just flexing to know that he's still got it? That's it. It might seem pathetic to you, okay?
Yeah, it kind of does.
But if
He
he,
wants a reaction from you.
you think he wants a reaction?
Yeah, but
What
Yeah.
if he wants to show that he's
desired. He's
But
wanted.
I feel like if he actually like was desired though, then he wouldn't need to flex it.
exactly.
not necessarily.
Guys are
Not-
weird.
Not necessarily, because
Like-
Why-
you are coming from a position of you always have options available to you, right? So even if we're in a relationship, you always know you've still got it. Yes or no? Yes.
Yeah.
So for a guy, he may like. I guess what I'm saying is, would you rather a guy that just goes and cheats and tells you, or he just sees that he's still got it? Because I tell you for why. You might think this is a weird thing, but when I used to work for this company, I won't say the company. One of the bosses would tell me, he'd say, "Yeah, I chat to girls all the time, and I'll chat them up and that, but I just do it to know that I've still got it, because I like that chase." and my wife kind of likes it. He said like his wife, so they'll go out and she'll spot him doing it, and like she'll get the hots for him because it's kind of like she knows he's still got it. Yeah, I know it sounds really weird, but he always sees her getting attention, right? So it's kind of that reverse to say like, well, what if you never see your man getting attention?
I understand. I think.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then you know he's desirable.
Yeah, but I think like if I witnessed it myself, if I was with somebody and I witnessed like a girl kind of coming onto him a bit, yeah, I would be like, that's hot. But for him to come to me and be like, oh, you know, I got all this attention, that to me, it comes off as beta. It's kind of like, if it's kind of like a guy trying to like flex his money, be like, oh, you know, like I made X amount of money last week. It's so cool. It's like, it's weird. Like, I just think it's weird.
I look at it like this, that today, okay, I'm going to look at it like, oh, okay, babe, yeah, you've got some attention. Long term, I don't think I'm going to look at it like that. I'm going to think, this guy needs a lot of validation. It's long.
I feel like I just would want to know. I would just don't tell me. I'm good. Like I'm like a see no evil, hear no evil.
Okay.
Like I don't want to know. I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna read super chats. Guys, thank you so much for the super chats. We are trying to get 2 more cameras in here. That is the next thing that we are saving for. So we'd like to get one at maybe like the back of the room, and then one. Where do we want to put the 6th one? What? Talking to the mic. A close-up one. Okay. Okay. Osmosis reacts. Pearl's mic is peaking. Osmosis reacts. Why would a guy feel the need to tell her? 90 free tope. Women are too dumb for hypotheticals. Big breezy. The girl in the green leggings needs to stop telling men what we should and shouldn't judge. We don't want a wife. TFL London Bikes FFS. She's giving off big bike energy right now. Darius Horton. I should ask the women guests if they've had a son, would they want their son to marry a woman with a promiscuous past? Alistar Horton. If both genders didn't judge, there wouldn't be any. If both genders didn't judge, there wouldn't be so many singles in the dating market. Manny F. The woman said not to judge a person based on their past. Would they date a person that had a cheating past? Larry Nelms. The body count men are willing to accept is different based on the man. Marco. Women in the green is an absolute 304. Anyone that's that defensive about their past is for the street, and we know it. MGTOW by logic. It's none of your business. Always said by a greedy, low-value, classless woman who wants it all, and F what a man wants. Drazian Gaming. Imagine dating someone or marrying the green one. 90 free tope. Women lower their expectations, not their standards. Big breezy. I'm from the UK. Yes, all of us men care. It's the most important thing. We just won't tell you that you're not serious if we think you're a bike. Drazian Gaming. Girl, stop gaslighting, please. You're being too dramatic. Drazian Gaming. Notice how they jumped on his neck when he gave his own opinion. Why are you judging him based on his opinion, you hypocrite? Eric Bates. If rules are needed, which of the rules are you going to adopt if the Bible? And why is that system better? Living in a biblical culture is healthy for everyone, even non-Christians. Big breezy. Cardi B doing the most 5 years ago, busting it down for the madmen and libertine. Now Cardi want to be representing, because I'm a power lifter, but even I couldn't bench certain girls' body counts these days. Burley here. Do not judge lest you be judged, for with the judgment you pronounced will be judged, and with the measure you use it for will be measured to you. Fixed it for you. Drazian Gaming. To the sister in the black, please review this live and read some of the comments. You're all over the place. MGTOW by logic. I can judge. How dare you judge my right to judge, ma'am? MGTOW by logic. Being a reformed 304 is better than not being reformed. Reforming doesn't delete your past. Men deserve to know the truth so they can make an informed choice about her. Gio. Becoming my best self after meeting my boyfriend with his motivation. This channel really finished red pilling me hard. Started as a feminist whale to losing 50 pounds. Let's go. Yes. 50 pounds.
That's banging.
Feminine and happily submissive. Thank you. Look at C. They can't say my whale jokes have done nothing. They can't. Okay, C. Brown. So we're waiting on a used up snatch up. Matt Butcher. Feminism, no fault divorce, welfare state, birth control, abortion laws, at all the same time disrupted and diluted the family dynamic for over 2 generations. Will it take 2 generations for us to learn from our mistakes? The UK Economist. Please ask your guest if an experienced bride should still wear a white dress. Ooh, really quick. Should just yes or no? Yes. Don't go into it. Should a girl wear a white dress if she's not a virgin? Yes or no?
She shouldn't.
I don't give a heck.
I don't care.
You don't care?
No.
No?
No.
See, I'm torn because I feel like you shouldn't, but I think I'm still gonna. So.
Exactly.
Larry Nelms, thank you for the super chat. Hamza Yasmin, that is the problem with today's society. They put the blame on expectations, on exceptions, rules, and other things. It's about taking responsibility for what you have done yourself and you blame it on others. Max Curello, can Shorty with the mask show her face? She looks bad as F. Marriage causes divorce. Any UK guys do not get married. Divorce judges are crazy. You will lose around 70% if there are kids involved. You will be left with about 30%. Middle ground is to cohabitate. Speak to divorced guys before getting married. Be easy 716. Men leave churches because women have become the leaders. By the Bible standards, women can't pastor. They are supposed to teach the next generation of women to be wives. Many churches are out of order. MGTOW by logic. A lot of women in the church were in the club the night before, so ... Yeah. Row charts? No. Hey, Pearl. Phantom Watcher here. Janice Fiengo on Studio B YouTube channel has been doing an expose on conjunctions of feminism for the past several months. Check it out. She also did an interview with Jordan Peterson's wife. Kellyanne Daniels, success story, keep the house clean, make dinner, love your husband. Also fitness, being inspirational and submitting to your husband is a success story. Let him lead. Big breezy. LOL, the girl in the green dress in the face is covering a jewel. Word. Scotty McDump waffle. No, the modern elite structures overwhelmingly support feminism, and naturally women want to capitalize it. So why would they ever compromise? Ulix, no, we can't find middle ground, nor should we. Objective truth is real, and the hubris of society, modernity, needs to be rejected. MGTOW by logic. Every relation is as complicated as the woman chooses to make it. Me. Love Gorta's channel. Thank you for the super chat. Killon Daniels, Pearl, I'm here to catch my first live. Hope all is going well. Please leave a bowl of milk for the cat ladies next time. Okay. So, question. I'm going to read an article. So, since the start of the 21st century, the U.S. marriage rates has declined. I know we're in the UK, but I used a US one. The US marriage rate has declined from more than 8 marriages per 1,000 down to 6 marriages per 1,000 population in 2019. The marriage rate is the lowest level since the US government began keeping marriage records for the country in 1867. Why aren't people getting married anymore?
Because women don't know what men want in marriage, and the standard for men has been the same. Mm-hmm. And so women also don't really know their nature either. So they expect a lot from men when realistically it's not really possible given the state of like the economy. Because in the past, in the 1950s and before that, like it was okay to be hypergamous in a way, because women didn't really have much money. Mm-hmm. So if a guy makes, I don't know, like by those standards, $30K a year, that was fine because they were still living with their parents. But now, like women actually out-earn men in certain industry. I'm not sure, but I know that they go to college more than men do. Mm-hmm. And so they want a man that's more educated. They want a man that makes more money. Mm-hmm. And like realistically, given their nature, that makes sense due to history. But it doesn't make sense now because men and women are competing and their standards aren't lowering. Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Sorry, my mind went somewhere else. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Why? So marriage rates are lower than they've ever been. Why aren't people getting married anymore?
I'll say society now, isn't it? High expectations. I would say social media.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like back in the day, kind of a thing where there's a lot of cheating nowadays. People are easily swayed, both men and women. And I'll say social media plays a big part now, like Instagram and stuff like that. Also now, a lot of people know their worth, I'd say, kind of thing. They won't settle for just you beating me up and stuff like that. Whereas back in the day, a lot of people would, like, they'll compromise and stay. But I know, I'll say a lot of people know their value. Yeah. And more woke kind of thing.
You think people know their value?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I think when not the value part, I agree. I think the reason why men and women aren't getting married anymore is because of wokeism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
They're
it's
woke. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that's a big part of it, and I think it's a few things. People don't really know their roles, and they don't discuss that up front. So when it doesn't work out for them, either way, for the lady or the man, they almost feel resentful, and then they divorce, and they think the grass is going to be greener. I think the grass is greener syndrome is legitimately a thing. It comes from like social media and dating apps, and people have never had to commit like they have to commit now because they have so many options now.
Yeah.
So I think if you can commit now, it says a lot more than back in the day, because back in the day, you only really knew who was around you in your town. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't, if you're a baddie, you know, you could get flown out to somewhere. That stuff like that just didn't happen. You know.
So, for you, because you've actually seen dating change, I'm sure, over the past like 20, 30 years. Why did more people get married before, and why don't they get married now?
I think there was more stigma. You couldn't have kids outside of marriage, and for it to be okay. I think that's one thing. And I think there was a lot of pressure from families for you to do the right thing. Nowadays, you can cohabitate for years. You can have children in that partnership and not really have stability. Although you might think it's stability, you might have been with the same person for 10 years. But I think I don't see that as stability, really, because a lot of people leave relationships, they go into another one, they create another family. So I think values have changed. What people see as the norm now has changed. Cohabitating is the norm. And even people that I know say they would never think about marriage. They would think about living with someone, but not marriage as the ultimate commitment. But my parents married. That's what I would look to do, because I think it's the right thing for me. Even though, you know, I'm at the age that I am, I still think it's the right thing to do.
Do you think marriage is a bad deal for men nowadays, now that we offer less than ever as women? So the average age of first marriage in the UK is 31, so we don't have youth anymore. Purity, like I think most men would pray for a girl with less than 5 bodies nowadays, where they used to get virgins. And on top of that, the divorce laws are very heavily favored towards women, where we can leave and take half. And there's, you know, sayings like it's cheaper to keep her. On top of that, if we leave, we can also take the kids and put them on child support. Would you say that marriage is a bad deal for men today? Why would they get married?
I say depending on who you're marrying, it'll be a bad deal.
Okay.
I think by and large you're spot on with a lot of those points. I think one of the biggest ones is just the divorce, because a lot of things have been equalized for better or for worse. Why has that not reflected those things?
And the divorce laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they were, and I'm speaking from someone who I actually want to get married, you know, and I think if you're a guy and you want to get married, maybe a prenup might be a good idea if you are of some high amount of value. But I think it's an even bigger sacrifice for a guy to make now than ever before, because of that reason. Like, you could be in a relationship, the girl earns as much as you or more, and then you divorce and they get even more.
Right.
So I think that is one of the biggest factors.
What would you say? So one, why do you still want to get married, even with all of that? And two, what would you say? Would you say a prenup is the solution, or are there other solutions that you could think of from a guy's point of view?
So I'd say prenup is part of the solution. And I'd also say that I like the idea of making a sacrifice. I think a lot of the best things in life come with sacrifices. And also, my mum and dad had me quite late in life. So they're kind of, everyone I went to school with, their parents were younger. So they're an older generation. And I guess maybe I'm a hopeless romantic, you know, the comment section can rinse me for it. I don't care, but
They will.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will, but I think I'm confident in myself enough to still flex. You know, like Brendan Fraser, if you know the actor, he had one of the worst divorces ever. I don't know all the details. But he's just come out with some amazing movie, right? He's still flexing because he knows he's still got it. And I think that shows confidence as a man that if you can still make that sacrifice and you can still earn after, you know.
Do you think another solution is just living together and never getting married?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I think kids, in my opinion, is the ultimate commitment, and then marriage after that, because you're essentially you're passing your genes on with someone else. You're choosing to mix your genes with someone, but yeah, I think cohabitation is a solution.
You know, what's also a crazy thing is that men, I don't think women really appreciate how much of a sacrifice it is for men to get married, because 1 in 4 marriages are sexless. So it's like men go through all of this stuff to get married, and girls won't even say that sex is, you do, but rare. Like, girls won't even admit that sex is a duty. Like, they don't even get sex whenever they want.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, again, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but that's why I think truth is so important. Because if you go into something saying, these are our roles, this is what I expect from you, what do you expect from me? And I will say, okay, I'll put a ring on it as long as these things are in place. If these things are not in place no longer, then those are why I would divorce.
Okay. What about you guys? What incentive do you think men have to get married today?
I think culturally, though, I mean, our culture, we're still governed under our own choices. Like, I know Africans and some Caribbeans, Africans more, they are going to marry. They're not going to think about doing prenups. They're going to get married. Even if they had children outside of the marriage, they're still going to get married. Caribbeans, I'm not sure really if we're kind of into getting married. I don't know when's the last time I went to a wedding, but like from an African point of view, yes, they still get married. I just think that people are not traditional. People are untraditional.
And it's for the kids, right? I think a lot of people in this day and age think that they forget that what is the function of marriage. I believe it's for the children. You know, it's both of you saying, till death do us part. And if you actually take the words you say seriously, which I don't think people do.
I always think about that women from the 1940s and 50s would like laugh at us today, because like they'd be like, oh, you left because you weren't happy? My man had a whole family across town and I stayed. You know what I mean? Like, that used to happen. Like, families would meet at funerals. And even, you know, I have some relatives that like kind of, you know, stayed together through cheating and like all this stuff. But like nowadays, like girls will just leave because they're not happy, which is crazy, especially when you have kids. It's not about you.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. And that's why I don't think men have any incentive anymore to get married. Like, because initially men would marry for sex because women want a commitment. So, and women, they wouldn't give sex unless there was a commitment. And then they want someone that can cook and clean and maintain a home that's good with children. And a lot of women don't want children. And they wanted purity, like they wanted a virgin, and women aren't virgins anymore. And then add the divorce courts on top of that.
As many of you know, I was just banned on TikTok, and we are demonetized on a daily basis on this platform. If you want to help, please consider sending a super thanks below. Every donation helps, and it helps make what we do possible.